Hello, welcome to part 2 of my Blu-ray update series for the end of 2017, I suppose. Stuff that I've accumulated in the UK that I just got back to after 6 months and am now showing you in a video. We'll kick off with Criterions. Well, actually, we'll leave Criterions to last, or halfway through, because I think people are more interested in the Criterions. But, right, yeah, so premium collection titles. Got a bunch of these at HMV. And I suppose these aren't technically ones that have been waiting for me over the past 6 months, but regardless, I'm just throwing them in there to kind of tie the three Blu-ray updates together nicely. No? No? Okay. So the first one I have watched actually, because I really wanted to check it out, and is The Haunting. This is from the 50s, I think, or maybe the early 60s. Let's see, 1963, yes. And this stars Claire Bloom, who is in one of my favourite films ever, Limelight with Charlie Chaplin. So it's great to see her in this film. I will talk about this because it's in the book 1001 Movies, so I'll be doing a dedicated review for this film, but I enjoyed it very much. It really surprised me. A really good kind of haunted house movie, a spooky one, but the direction in particular I thought was absolutely standout. And so yeah, and these premium collection titles, I really like them. You know, you get the nice kind of clear case, which really means nothing, but I like the clear case. I've been conditioned to think that a clear case means a superior film with massive cinema and arrow and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if it's in a blue case, shit film. No, I'm kidding. But it's certainly something that appeals to me in a way that I readily admit is psychologically imbalanced, I think. So, The Haunting, there we go. And then a bunch I got in the 2 for 15 deal, which is very good value, I have to say, especially with the digital copies being something I'm not interested in. I can sell them on at some point. Here we have Public Enemy, which I believe is in the book 1001 Movies, which has influenced my decision. And these usually have art cards and stuff, which is kind of nice, and obviously the slip cover, the slip box. And this one stars James Cagney, and it's an early 30s movie. And I'm really intrigued in the early 30s, just that kind of beginning period of sound film. So, looking forward to that one. Then we have a classic that I've heard of, you know, practically my whole life, I feel like, A Streetcar Named Desire, Marlon Brando. Haven't seen much of Brando, really, on the waterfront, obviously, The Godfather, but apart from that, you know, it's I haven't really seen much of his work. This also stars Vivian Leigh. And you know, it's just one of those films you always hear about. And this one has a bunch of special features, 5 documentaries, a feature-length profile on the director himself, outtakes from the film, the screen test from Marlon Brando, so there's a load of special features on this one. Again, almost all of these, haven't seen them, so it is what it is, nature of the beast. This one I primarily went for because of Paul Newman. It is Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Paul Newman is one of my favourite actors ever. I did a marathon watching his films for the first time, I think, in 2015, 2016. And I love that. So if you want to hear me talk about Paul Newman, or if you want to see me discover Paul Newman as one of my new favourite actors, go check out the Paul Newman Marathon. That was a lot of fun. And I love him. So definitely want to check it out just for that. Here we have a commentary and a featurette. So not much in terms of special features, but Elizabeth Taylor as well, so it's a very good cast. But I'm here for the Paul Newman, I have to say. This one, I think, again, primarily influenced by the fact that it's in the book 1001 Movies, is Point Blank, starring Lee Marvin, who I am familiar with in a few different films. But this one, I mean, it seems this looks 60s. So yeah, 67. This looks like kind of like a hard-boiled kind of cop movie. And it has a commentary with John Borman and Steven Soderbergh. That's really interesting. But yeah, Point Blank. And definitely leave your thoughts down below if you've seen any of these films. This one I have seen, actually, and I do love this film, and this reminds me of when I first started getting into older films. I just watched Seven Samurai, I think, and I was like, right, let's look into these old films, and I was really fascinated with the film noir genre, so this was kind of one of the first ones I went to, my first port call. I think it was the Maltese Falcon. Now I have the, can you see them here somewhere? I have like the Warner Brothers like classic movies, steelbooks, the really nice ones, like we got Ben-Hur, Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, like massive heavy-hitting classics, and one of them was Maltese Falcon. Now, I was really searching for that, but it's way out of print, so I'll take this one. Humphrey Bogart, I remember it being a great film, but I don't remember too much about it, so I'm really excited to get back to this and review it for the 1001 Movies series. There's loads of special features on this one, rightfully so. Peter Lorre as well, amazing. He's also in this classic film noir, probably one of the most famous ones, I think. And then finally we have Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And this one stars Elizabeth Taylor also, Richard Burton, and was directed by Mike Nichols. Okay, I wasn't actually sure about that one. And this one also has an audio commentary with Steven Soderbergh, with Mike Nichols. Steven Soderbergh seems to be kind of muscling in on all these audio commentaries for some reason, which is kind of interesting. Commentary by cinematographer Haxel Wexler. Really? Did he do the cinematography for the film? That would be interesting. You don't see many cinematographer commentaries, I have to say. So, that's that for the premium collection stuff. And then Criterions. I bought a few from Spider Geek way back in July, I think, and so they just turned up, so I'll just rattle through these really quickly. And these are UK Criterions. We have Mildred Pierce, another one that's in the book, and this one is a Joan Crawford starring movie. And again, I just like to just go into these fairly blind, so I know people get frustrated with the, haven't seen it kind of thing, but it's more fun for me, for the most part. We have The Squid and the Whale, which has a great cast. Jeff Daniels, Jesse Eisenberg, Laura Linney, and a bunch of special features, a really thick booklet, and directed by Noah Baumbach, who I really like. I like his films a lot. I think I've only really seen a few of them. I've seen a lot of stuff he's written. Mistress America was pretty good, but Frances Ha I loved from a few years ago, 2013 I think. This is from 2005, and yeah, I definitely want to check it out. There's loads of special features, including a documentary behind the scenes, which is good, but also new interviews with all of the key actors and with Baumbach himself, so I hope I like that one based on the amount of special features. And then finally, Punchdrunk Love with Adam Sandler. I do like Adam Sandler when he's kind of taking himself seriously. I'm not a fan of his comedy at all. Happy Gilmore, what's that other one where he's, I don't even know. A few of his films, Billy Madison, they were fun when I was a kid, but I mean, they just don't hold up for me. Not a fan of his comedy whatsoever, but I think he's really good in the more serious roles I've seen him in a few times. This one also stars Emily Watson, who's an incredible actress, and I have heard very good things about this one. So this is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, of course, who I feel like I need to see more of, so that's one for the hit list as far as the PTA goes. And then I had 4 that I bought from a guy who I bought loads from last summer, who was selling off his entire Criterion collection really cheap, and I made an offer on these 4, which these 4 Criterions are like the kind of lower level ones that always go for like $15, $16 on Amazon. So I made him an offer for 4 of them, which was a little bit of a low baller, but he went, "Oh, you're killing me, man, but okay, fine." So great guy. Don't know who he was, obviously it was on eBay, but yeah, he really cut a great deal with me on this one and agreed to my price. So we have Ministry of Fear by Fritz Lang. I really want to watch more of his later films. I've now seen The Big Heat, which was very good, so intrigued to see what this one is about. Obviously it's going to be some sort of film noir. That seemed to be what he excelled at in his later career in Hollywood. This is from 1944 actually, so I haven't seen any of his films from the 40s. Definitely a director who I love from the silent era, but need to see more of from later on in their career. And then we have The Uninvited. I love that cover, love that artwork, love the colouring, as Blu-ray Dan would say. This is from 1944 also. And this one seems like a kind of film noir-y kind of movie, but I'm not too sure at the same time. Obviously it seems very spooky, The Uninvited. Yeah, looking forward to that one quite a bit. Oh, I have seen that one. I'll leave that one to last then, so I'll have something to talk about. This, I always wrote off 3 Outlaw Samurai, because it was always like $15 on Amazon, so I thought, oh, it must be like one of those not too good films. But I think Thomas Pollock did a video about this and said how much he really enjoyed it. And I've since kind of read more about it, and people saying that it's pretty great and a pretty good samurai film, so I'm always in for samurai movies, Chambara movies. So 1964. Don't know who directed this one actually. Oh, I just noticed the case is cracked. I'll leave that one in for FREE. Yeah, don't know who directed this. By the legendary Hideo Gosha. Yep, never heard of him before. So yeah, 3 Outlaw Samurai. I'm not sure if any of the actors I'd recognize, because I'm certainly getting into Chambara films from the 60s at this point with the Zatoichi movies, but yeah, it'd be intriguing to see if I recognize anyone, but one I'm definitely looking forward to. As I say with all of these. And finally, this one is a double dip, and it's an incredible, incredible film from 1962, directed by Masaki Kobayashi, starring Tatsuya Nakadai, one of my favorite actors. Harakiri, the act of committing ritual suicide for a samurai. This movie almost entirely takes place in this courtyard where a samurai has come to a palace and wants to commit harakiri in front of everyone there, and he tells them his story. And it is so compelling. It's just such an incredible film. I watched it, I think, in 24-hour movie marathon 3. So that's about 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. So I really want to revisit it. I have the Massive Cinema Blu-ray, which is great, but this has a few different special features, including an interview with Tatsuya Nakadai and the screenwriter of the movie. So, you know, it was one I was happy to double dip on just for the extra special features. And there is Tatsuya Nakadai there in all his glory. Just an incredible film. I love this, and I'm really excited to get back to it at some point. It's one that I think should be in the book of 1,001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. It's incredible samurai movie, I think. And there we go. So that's that for the Criterions and the Premium Collection. In the next third and final Blu-ray update of this little trilogy, I'll be showing some box sets, some Arrow Video stuff, Arrow Academy stuff, Massive Cinema stuff, and yeah, mainly just box sets and things like that. So stay tuned for that. Limited thoughts on any of the films I've shown and I don't know fuck all about, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.